What is Australia's most popular sport? The sports that are popular in Australia can be very different from elsewhere around the world. And in addition, there are regional differences in the popularity of sports. For example, the most popular football code in Sydney is Rugby League, while in Melbourne, it is Australian football. In this video, we're sharing everything you need to know about sports in Australia. We're talking about the most popular sports, top sports by region, sports teams, top sports people of all time, and so much more. Cricket, surfing, swimming, rugby, AFL, and more. Here's the rundown on the top sports in Australia. AFL. AFL Australian Football League is an Australian sport originating in the state of Victoria. Since its inception in 1860, the game has expanded across the country to a total of 18 AFL clubs. Commonly referred to as Aussie rules or the footy, AFL is played on a large field equal to the size of 2 regular football fields. Game breakdown: 18 players on a side, 4 additional players that switch on and off the bench. The game broken into 4 20-minute quarters. The umpire starts the game by bouncing the ball in the center circle. The ball is passed through a combination of kicks, handballs, and running. A player can score either a goal 6 points or behind 1 point. Goal is scored when a player kicks the ball between the 2 middle posts. A behind is scored when a player kicks the ball between the inside and outside posts. When running with the ball, the player must bounce and catch it every 15 meters. NRL. The National Rugby League began in Australia in 1908 as a rebel football competition against the New South Wales Rugby Union. Nowadays, the NRL runs the world's premier rugby league competition made up of 17 teams, 16 from Australia and 1 from New Zealand. Game breakdown: 13 players per side, 4 additional players that switch on and off the bench. A match is 80 minutes long with 2 40 minutes halves. A try is scored when the ball is touched to the ground over the try line of the opposing team. That conversion occurs after a try as an extra opportunity to score points. The player kicks through the posts above the crossbar. A drop goal is scored when a player drop kicks the ball through the posts above the crossbar. Penalty goal occurs after a rule breach. The team awarded the penalty can take a kick at goal for a potential of 2 points. The ball must be passed backward. Players can pass the ball among team members until such time that they are tackled down. Teams have possession of the ball for a total of 6 tackles or plays. On the 6th tackle of play, the players usually opt to kick the ball down the field in an attempt to gain territory. If they choose not to kick on the 6th play, the ball will be handed over to the opposing team. A scrum consists of 6 players per team and is used to restart the game. Cricket. Australia's cricketing history goes back some 200 years. The first reports of the game were published in newspapers in 1804. Since then, cricket has become one of Australia's favorite summer sports. But unless you've grown up playing the game, it can be a little confusing to understand. Here's the basics. Game breakdown: 11 players on each team. Each team gets an opportunity to bat and to bowl. The end goal is for the batting team to score as many runs as possible before being bowled out. 1 run is scored when the 2 batters, the striker and the non-striker, safely arrive at the opposite wicket without being bowled out. When a batter hits the ball outside of the boundary cricket pitch, 6 runs are awarded. The focus for the bowling team is to get each batsman out with as few runs as possible under their belt. Batsmen can be bowled out by catching the ball on the full before it bounces or by hitting the 3 wooden stakes stumps located behind the batter. LBW, the lower leg before wicket, is when a batter's legs intercept the ball before it hits into the stumps. This is a cause for dismissal from the game. Surfing. Australia is home to some of the best beaches and waves in the world, so it's no wonder that surfing is ingrained as a core part of the Aussie way of life. Australia has between 2.5 and 3.5 million active surfers who enjoy the waters regularly. Although there is a long history of surfing across many parts of the country, it's unclear exactly when the sport landed officially. However, the first manual for swimming featured a chapter on surfboards, and that was published in 1867 by Charles Steedman. In any case, it's clear surfing has been around for a long time. Competitive surfing breakdown. Surfing events are made of rounds and heats. Surfers compete to lock in their 2 highest scoring waves out of a possible 10 points each. A panel of 5 judges scores the waves. The highest and lowest scores of the judges are discounted, and the surfer receives the average of the remaining 3 scores. Priority is when one surfer has the right of way in catching any wave they choose. Interference is when a surfer impacts the scoring potential of another surfer. Interference penalties usually follow. When scoring, judges take into consideration commitment and degree of difficulty, innovative, progressive maneuvers, combinations, variety of maneuvers, speed, power, and flow. Netball. Netball was first introduced to Australia in the late 1890s, and back then it was known as women's basketball. The sport has come a long way since then, and the Australian team is now ranked as #1 in the world. Game breakdown: there are 7 playing positions in a netball team. Players must always have one foot on the ground when they catch the ball. They can then pivot on that foot, but not move forward or backward. Netball is a no-contact sport. If contact is made, a free pass is usually issued to the opposite team member. Players have designated areas based on their position. They must not leave that area, otherwise it is considered offside. If a ball is thrown out of the court, the opposite team is awarded the ball. Goals can only be scored by the assigned shooting players. Netball games are 60 minutes long, divided into 15-minute quarters. The team with the most goals at the end wins the game. Horse racing. Horses were first brought over to Australia in 1788, marking the beginning of horse racing across the country. In 1810, Australia held the first recorded thoroughbred race meeting, and by 1861, the first ever Melbourne Cup was held. This race is such a big event that most businesses stop to watch each year, hence the nickname "the race that stops the nation." The hype is so big in the state of Victoria that locals have a public holiday for the race each year. Horse racing overview. Horse riders are known as jockeys. Flat racing is when horses race on a track free from obstacles. Jump racing is when hurdles and other obstacles are presented on the track for horses to leap over as part of the race. The winner is determined by whichever horse crosses the line first. What are the most popular sports in Australia? If there's one thing that will get Aussies going, it's debating the significance and popularity of their favorite sport, and it can vary greatly depending on where you are in the country. There are also differences between the most popular sports to attend, the most popular sports to watch, and the most popular sports to participate in. Let's break it down. The most popular sport to attend. The most attended sport in Australia is AFL, and it takes the top spot by a landslide. The annual attendance rate is 16% of the population, compared to its closest rivals NRL Rugby League at just 9%. 5,187,214 fans attended games throughout the 2023 season, with an average crowd size of roughly 40,000, and the season grand final attracted 100,024 spectators. The most popular sport to watch. The two major contenders for the most popular sport to watch are the AFL and the NRL. Both sports rack up large TV followings each year, particularly around the grand final time. In the 2023 season, NRL TV ratings totaled almost 107.5 million, while the AFL reached roughly 85 million viewers. This makes NRL the most popular TV sport in Australia at this time. The most popular sport to participate in. While the most popular participation sports in Australia are running, swimming, and cycling, soccer is Australia's most widely played team sport, with 570,000 Australians aged 14 plus playing regularly. Thanks for watching. Kindly like and subscribe for more videos. In the comments section of the post, please tell me how many you discovered.